Okay, we are going to enhance our app by using some dummy data. Dummy JSON has a number of differentiated JSON values for testing, which can be accessed via REST API. Let's go with the products JSON. It has a total of 100 dummy products inside it. Well, actually, if you are seeing this in your browser, it might just look like this. If so, you don't have any JSON viewer extension enabled on your Chrome. I have one called JSON Viewer. It is a good one and it can be customized. It can be installed in the Chrome extensions store for free. Alright, let's do it. I'm gonna make it inside the project's component using Axios. In case you don't know, Axios is a promise-based HTTP client that can be used for making HTTP requests. It could do both, get and post requests. Axios is a function, which takes an URL as a parameter. The dot then after Axios provides the result value obtained by the Axios function. Let's log it and check in the console. And yeah, we got the JSON data from Dummy JSON. The data we got is actually a JavaScript object, which has 6 key value pairs in it. Out of it, we just want this products array from the data key. So, let's get it. Yeah, now we have trimmed out the products array alone. Let's start rendering the data from here. It is a good practice to use hook variables for this case. It helps us to keep track of the API data throughout the component. Wrapping the Axios inside a UseEffect function helps to synchronize the API data whenever there is an update or a change on value from the provider. Okay, let's assign the values to the products variable. In here, I'm checking whether the data is not an empty one, and here, checking if our products is an empty one, to reduce the UseEffect's repetition. Which means, the hook variable products get assigned only if it is not already assigned with a value, and the data from Axios is valid one. Now, let's bring the products variable in action by using the map function with an iteration variable called product. This map function is going to render 100 ProCard components, which is the length of the products variable. So, let's trim to a smaller size using the slice function. Now, it is going to render only 4 cards. Let's pass the title as a prop. Yeah, we got the titles showing up. Okay, now let's fork the single project component. I'm going to change the URL params here with the product's ID because Dummy JSON has the feature of providing the specific value for the given ID, like this. Just have to add the ID at the end. Okay, now, pass the product ID from the project's component to the ProCard component and change the URL params in the ProCard to the ID of the product using string concatenation like this. Yeah, now we got the product ID in the URL params and rendered it in the single project component. Now, with this ID, we are going to fetch the specific product data from the Dummy JSON. Alright, let's do it. First, let's check with a static value. Yeah, we got the data here. This time, it is going to be a single product object, which can straightly be accessed through res.data. So, let's configure the code a little and check rendering it. Here, as the product is an object now, I'm gonna use the length of its keys array to check whether it is empty. Yes, we got the appropriate data for the ID, 1. Now let's just assign some other matchable values to our component. I'm gonna use the map function for the images array. I'm also going to change the Pro Cards image to the product's thumbnail. Yeah, it looks cool now. Okay, let's change the static ID number 1 to the dynamic product ID using the params. Oh, it is throwing an error saying, can't read the properties of undefined, which means something in our application has an undefined value like this, which has an invalid value before. The reason behind this event is that, inside the components in our app, the values got rendered before the HTTP request was even made. So, now, we have to handle this event and make decisions based on events like this. And that's what we are exactly going to do in the next session. So, subscribe and see you on the next video.